What's up? What's up, family? Welcome back to another video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you get some value from this video. As always, we just here to have a conversation. So last night's matchup, it just got a whole lot interesting. The Indiana Fever was set to take on the Golden State Rockies, which they lost. But there's a major change on the sideline with head coach Stephanie White. She will not be well, she was not with the team, I should say, because this is last night. She stepped away for personal reasons, and that means assistant coach Austin Kelly is stepping up once again as the acting head coach. This is the second time we've seen Kelly take the reins. And given what happened last time he led the team, people are definitely watching because they won last time, and that's when Eric McDonald was playing. And the last time he stepped in, it was during a game against the Chicago Sky. And to be honest, he impressed a lot of people and he brought energy, composure, and a clear sense of direction to the team. His in game interviews showed confidence and understanding the moment, and his connection with the players were obvious. And now he got another shot, and he had another shot last night, which adds a new layer of intrigue to last night's game. Not only are fans um, tuning in to see Caitlin Clark, and the Fever continue their run, but now they added their curiosity towards the man on the sideline, which is Austin Kelly. And can Kelly keep that momentum going? And is this a preview to something bigger? And it's not drama yet, but it was definitely worth a watch last night. And this was him saying how he had learned and found out yesterday that he would be the acting head coach.
Before we left, so Steph's got some personal stuff going on, and so I've assumed his role for Chicago early in the year. It's kind of business as usual, just stepping in. All right, same message. Our team understands that, and so so day before we got here.
And after kind of a wild game Tuesday night, how did I don't know settle everybody's emotions down a little bit if that needs to happen?
No, this group's focused. We're refocused. It's our first West Coast trip of the year, so we're focused on Golden State right now and coming to play already tonight.
But this remind me of, and I know a lot of people put pressure on Austin Kelly, but he's an assistant coach, so I feel like he's more the person that keeps things centered, like from a centric standpoint, meaning that he keeps the message reinforced, he keeps the composure of the team. But ultimately, as we all know, in sports fans and basketball fans more in particular, it's more so the energy that the team have to give off to each other to stay in sync with the right chemistry to win the game. Now, and of course, more games are challenging than others, some are easier than others. And last night they lost. And I just feel as though he shouldn't take on people shouldn't pressure him of the expectations of head coach Stephanie White because if anything, personal reasons happen, family come first. I get it. But however, um, I feel like a lot of people need to not put so much pressure on him just because he had coached the last game with the Chicago Sky. You shouldn't keep having the same expectations because every game is different. Every game is not a monolith. And I just feel like it's like looking at it from a president and a vice president standpoint, right? The president of the United States obviously is the chief, right? The vice president, he just lobbies whatever the chief says and follow in line and sync with what the administration is doing, being led by the president and whatever the president appoints the vice president to do to keep to stretch out his tentacles because the president can't be everywhere at once. Well, I feel like it's the same thing with Austin Kelly. He can head coach Stephanie White can't be everywhere at once. So the gaps that head coach Stephanie White may not be able to fill in, that's when Austin Kelly fill in, which is more so energy based, keeping his team in the right mindset, but reinforcing the motto and the mantra in which they do in practice and reminding them of the simple fact of how they're going to move along to win and compete based on the model that they have emphasized during practices, during plays, and during constant and consistent practice when it comes to their strengths and weaknesses as a team and building off using those strengths and building on those weaknesses as they continue to evolve as a young team. So I don't think a lot of people should put a lot of pressure on him. like I said, he's like the vice president and head coach Stephanie White is the president. I hope you guys understand that analogy and get where I'm coming from. Let me know what you guys think about that because I feel like a lot of times with the new viewers and the new people tuning in as the WNBA continue to have ratings grow, which we'll talk about that in a minute, and get new heads, whether they subscribe for a long period of time and become long-time viewers and fans, or some people that are tuning in temporarily for a season in a short amount of time. I just feel like we got to be more realistic when it comes to how we look at these positions and the roles that these individuals play because soon something don't go right, the pressure is put on the person, in this case, Austin Kelly, to be, oh, you need to be the head coach. Oh, you won last game. Oh, well, they lost this game against the Golden State Rockies because head coach Stephanie White wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? They end up personalizing the game when the reality is you have to understand the roles and the ecosystem within that team and look at it as also understanding from an outside perspective, right? So now, um, NBA TV, right? Let's look at the ratings, right? Because no one in the WNBA is doing numbers like this, and it's happening over and over again when it comes to the latest ratings. Put it like this: the latest ratings are making a statement that can't be ignored. In a recent matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun, pulled in over 624,000 viewers on NBA TV. All right. And that's not just a strong number. It was the most watched WNBA game on NBA TV this year. And get this, it even outperformed the Sky versus Liberty game aired on ESPN, which drew around 602,000 viewers. So think about that for a minute. Caitlin Clark's game on a less accessible, lower profile network outdrew a primetime game on ESPN, the most prominent sports network in the country. That's not just impressive, it's historic. And no one in the WNBA is doing numbers like this, and it's even happening over and over again. So, why is this a big deal, you may ask? Because it's simple. NBA TV has about half the reach of ESPN. ESPN is available on roughly 68 million households. And if you look down, as you guys can see with this whole Tuesday TV ratings, when it comes to the Stanley Cup, slips for final game, the 1% Club and the Snake Slip in week 2. So, as we go down, right, the WNBA Sun versus Fever is right here. Mind you, as you guys see, the Stanley Cup was up there at number 1. But that's the cable highlights here. And I wanted to show you guys the charts because I like to substantiate my point. So when you go over here and it says the Fever drew 624,000 viewers, and they did more than the Sky versus Liberty game, and that's the Caitlin Clark effect, most definitely. But then we take a step further with ESPN reach being in the United States around 68 million households, while NBA TV is only reaching 33 million. That means Caitlin Clark pulled more viewers on the network with a significantly smaller audience base. Now, and imagine that same Indiana versus Connecticut game had aired on ESPN. Based on the trend, it will likely draw more than between 1.5 to 2.2 million viewers. That's entering NBA level territory, and it wasn't even a playoff game. This isn't just about hype anymore. These are hard numbers. Clark is consistently generating viewership that's outpacing expectations and in many cases outdrawing the rest of the league combined. The takeaway is she's not just a second year in the WNBA rookie. She's a ratings engine. And the network placement is starting to feel more like a ceiling than an opportunity. Because, like I said, and it's also the 33.3 million television households in the United States, and this is a significant decrease from its peak 61 million homes. Well, if you look at it, when it goes to where are the CBS ratings? Now, here's where things get suspicious. While the numbers for Indiana versus Connecticut came out quickly, there's one set of ratings that's still missing in action. The Sky versus Sun game on CBS. And that's strange because CBS is a major broadcast network available free over the air and even through every major streaming TV provider. And this isn't some obscure cable channel. It's one of the most accessible networks in the country. So why are the ratings nowhere to be found? And multiple people in the sports media space have been asking the same thing. And the longer the silence continues, the more it feels intentional. Normally, ratings from CBS are published within a day or two, but now we're pushing past that window and nothing. So this was supposed to be a game featuring key players who are supposedly big draws. So if the numbers were strong, they'll be released, promoted, maybe even used to fuel league marketing, but they're not, and that's raising eyebrows across the boards, at least in my eyes. And when ratings go missing like this, especially from a major network like CBS, it's not just a glitch, it becomes a story in itself because plenty of people have been tracking these numbers for years, journalists, analysts, even independent creators who report on sports media. And right now, nobody can find those ratings. And that's not normal. And if the game had delivered solid numbers, CBS and the WNBA would be shouting it out from the rooftops. Instead, we got crickets. And here's what that likely means. The ratings were bad, so bad in fact that releasing them would contradict the narrative that certain players or matchups are carrying the league, and that's why they're hiding. Because once those numbers are public, it's impossible to spin. Because once you put something on the media, it's there forever. So what's worse is that CBS has every advantage in terms of reach. It's free access with just an antenna, no cable package, no subscription needed. And if you're airing a game on CBS and people still aren't watching, that says a lot. This silence isn't just suspicious to me, it's strategic. But here's the bottom line. No matter what network she's on, Caitlin Clark is the needle mover. And the numbers don't lie. And at this point, there's no serious argument against it, whether it's NBA TV, ESPN, or any other platform games featuring Clark consistently outperform the rest of the league. She's not just drawing in basketball fans, she's pulling in casual viewers, new fans like myself, and even people who have never watched WNBA games in their lives. And that's what star power looks like. And it's undeniable. Meanwhile, the league seems hesitant to fully embrace what the data is screaming, and we're still seeing primetime slots go to games that can't match even half the viewership Clark brings in on less accessible channels. And when networks like CBS hide their numbers, possibly to protect narratives around other teams or players, it only enforces a disconnect between what's being presented and what fans are actually responding to. And if the WNBA truly wants to grow, it's really time to get honest about what's working. And right now, Caitlin Clark is working. That's the problem with these social media platforms and these big networks. They want to chase headlines, but not really substantiate the argument and actually give the hardcore data that backs up the facts. They want to tell you what they want to show you, and they want to express only what they want you to know because the facts is undeniable and they don't want to be held accountable. That's what it seems like in my eyes when it comes to Caitlin Clark effect. So let's call it what it is. Caitlin Clark is single-handedly reshaping the WNBA's media landscape. Every time she steps on the court, ratings go up, conversations explode, and the league gets more national attention. That's hard data. Meanwhile, we got networks sitting on ratings they don't want to publicize for the people to see. We got league leadership playing it safe instead of riding the momentum, and we got fans demanding transparency while the media pretends everything's business as usual, and it's not. So the WNBA has never had this kind of spotlight before, and how to handle it from here obviously defines the next era of the league. And that means making smart broadcast decisions, pushing star power, and yes, being honest about what and who is actually moving the darn numbers. So here's the question. Why do you think, family, that those CBS ratings still haven't came out? And are they hiding bad numbers or is something else going on? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep conversation going. And if you're paying attention to trends, these trends like we are, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and turn the post notifications on so you don't miss what's coming next because the numbers don't lie, but sometimes the silence say even more. Peace, family. Love you.